we go where the game is, and we wanted to come here for a long time, and people that follow the program might know that there have been some close calls and some games that we'd circled, but then the results didn't quite fall the right way. Namely, Ole Miss stumbled before the big game we had circled. So we were just hoping that didn't happen this year. Obviously, this game's been on the schedule, and we've looked at it from the beginning of the season. We thought there was a very good likelihood both teams would be undefeated. And when it came down to one final hurdle to clear, and it's home against Memphis as a 3-touchdown favorite, we thought we'd have fun with it. And we started to talk a little bit more in this show about games that have game day implications, and sort of like let it out there. If this happens, we're going to be likely at this place next week. And so we decided that's the most blatant I've ever been about it. And we had some fun, although I wasn't really kidding. If the game here had fallen through, we likely would have been in Starkville. Well, it was 7-3 in the third quarter. I was doing a game where they were relaying the scores through the truck to us as Kirk and I were calling the Notre Dame Syracuse game. I'm like, come on, put them away, please.
But you mentioned that y'all been wanting to come here. Now that y'all gotten some, how's the experience been so far?
Well, it's great. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I mean, we've all been here for games. To be clear, the show hasn't been here, but those of us that have been around for a long time in this have been to Oxford for games, to do features other times of year. So it's just the first time the show's arrived here on a Saturday. I have to say that doing some of the Thursday games, that's not quite the same. I mean, I've looked forward to a big Saturday atmosphere for a long time, and you can tell the build-up is as advertised. So we can't wait till tomorrow morning.
What is your assessment of what T. Freeze has done at Ole Miss?
Well, it starts with recruiting. I mean, it starts with inheriting a situation where you needed to make drastic changes right away. And he talked to me about that yesterday, and all up and down the line, off the field, on the field. He got that done. He's obviously brought in top-flight talent, which is one of the reasons why he was an attractive candidate coach. And now the next step is sort of getting those guys to not just win the games you're supposed to win, but beat people like Alabama and LSU. And everybody knows that this is like, in soccer terms, the SEC West is the group of death. I mean, there's just no easy passes. Every game is going to take the best effort that Ole Miss has. And now it's time to sort of step up. I sense a real difference in this team from being around practice yesterday and some of the comments that I've read, that it's no longer viewed as Ole Miss just trying to be respectable against big, bad Bama. Now those guys really believe that they belong with anybody and should win the game. But, you know, I mean, I think nationally there's always going to be skeptics because until you've done it, you haven't done it. And so there will be a lot of eyes on this town tomorrow afternoon to see if they can take that step and beat Alabama. And then keep it going, because, by the way, the season isn't over, win or lose. And that's the thing that I think Hugh has preached, and rightfully so. I mean, you cannot let down for one week in this division.
I want to ask about just the game day crew and the dynamic at work there, and in the production meeting this morning. You and it was mainly you and Desmond, I guess, got into a healthy debate about Michigan.
Yeah.
And just how much does that dynamic kind of carry over into the show the next day?
Desmond's more emotionally involved in that story than I am. I try to just be the neutral person. I have no stake in stories like that. I really don't care about whether a coach keeps his job or doesn't, or a team wins or loses, and so I'm sort of playing devil's advocate. I mean, I think we don't really over-rehearse segments much on Friday. I mean, that conversation, because Michigan is a complicated story, it has many levels to it. We'll hash it out in the office a little bit just to sort of see what guys thinking on this and make sure we have all the bases covered. But we're not sitting in there. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? We've sort of grown out of that. The show isn't scripted. For those of you that don't know, we don't have a teleprompter. We don't really have a script per se. It's very fluid. It's extremely well produced, and the segments expand and contract based on time. And we just kind of, I wouldn't say wing it because we do a lot of preparation, but it is not a strict script that we're adhering to. Not even order of segments. And so we're just that's a mess at Michigan. There's a lot of different angles to take. I just wanted to make sure that we covered all of them, and I wanted to see where Des was coming from on that. So he has some strong feelings.
I know they